Hi and welcome back to Spirit Lounge. I'm hoping this video won't be so delayed like the other one. I've tried to change the settings, so hopefully that's working out. So let's just move straight into putting on the presentation onto the screen. A quick sneeze there. So this one is the sections 2, 3 and 4 of the Baruch. There's not much in this actually. There's not much I took out of this which we didn't already cover in the previous Baruch, but there are quite a lot of slides here, so we'll kind of walk through these slowly. So Baruch is a Jewish text, 1st and 2nd century AG, also known as the Syriac Apocalypse of Baruch. It's a letter of Baruch to the 9.5 tribes. I don't know why it's 9.5 tribes, but it seems to be. Excuse me there. Okay, let's continue. Hopefully this doesn't freeze. The word of the Lord came to Baruch. Have you seen all that this people are doing to me? That the evils which these two tribes were forced by their kings to commit sin. So these were the tribes out of the 12 tribes to forego the Judaic God and go into paganism, idol worship. For this reason, behold, I bring calamity on this city and on its inhabitants. My people will be disciplined. O Lord, if I have found grace, your sight, what therefore will there be after these things you destroy? Will there be after these things you destroy your city? How will one speak of your praises? Nature of man not again be named. People will be disciplined during a time. World will not be given over to oblivion. So then I am destined to grieve for Zion. Your enemies lead your inheritance into captivity. So these were the tribes that were led into captivity. Place of their idols, my glory are all to all eternity. Enemy will not overthrow Zion. Do whatever I have said to you. He took Jeremiah, Adu, Syria, Jabish, all the honorable men. I led them to the valley of Kidron. So basically he took anyone else who did not either turn away from the Judaic God or were taken into basically slavery. He took them into a different valley. Army of the Chaldeans surrounded the city. And behold, 4 messengers, 4 corners of the city, holding a torch of fire in his hands. The messenger began to descend from the heavens. Descend into the holy of the holies, and take from there the veil, the holy ark, the proprietary covering, 2 tablets. From the 9 comes with Jerusalem. They took the ark, which was basically to be supposedly held the ark of the covenants that were written on the tablets of Moses. Descend into the holy of holies, and take from there the veil, the holy ark, and the proprietary covering, 2 tablets. For the time comes when Jerusalem will also be delivered for a time, until it is restored forever. Overthrow its wall to its foundations, lest the army should. Broken up the corners of the walls. The Chaldeans entered and seized the house. After 7 days the word of God came to me. Tell Jeremiah, support the captivity of the people to Babylon. I spoke to Jeremiah. He indeed departed. I, Baruch, say this against you. Babylon, if you have prospered, and Zion had dwelt in her glory, yet the grief to us has been great. Lord, now have you borne. Okay, standing on Mount Zion, stand on your feet, Baruch. You have been astonished at what has befallen Zion. Maybe for a testimony. Say to them, you and those like you will have seen this evil and retribution. Nations smitten, then they will be in anguish. The lofty one, no mercy on his own sons, afflicted them as his enemies, because they sinned. The nations, you are guilty. Use the creation unrighteously. You will be endured by the nations. Sinned are many, for we have all been made like the breath. Breath ascends involuntarily and again dies. So it is with the nature of men. according to their own will. For the righteous without fear depart from this habitation. You, a store of works preserved in treasuries. I want to pull out the righteous without depart, the righteous without fear depart from this habitation. This one means not just temporal life. This is not talking about physical. Remember, spiritual is always interpretation you could take. You should always look at text and scriptures. What is it saying? Is, well, the spirit is no longer burdened by incarnational life in the crude form of matter, of animate, of inanimate or animated matter. And this is what happens when one ascends and is revealed unto the grace of God, or whatever you wish to call it. So this is what he's saying to me. And you can take all of these, even though it's referring to Zion or the Judaic tribes, if we take this away from the Judaic God and take it into more of a something that they call nations, like everyone, take it into a more holistic, all-encompassing spiritual perspective, esoteric, transcendental perspective. We are looking at asking those to follow the true nature of the truth, rather than wandering into avenues of delusion and illusion. But also, this is talking about the far left of darkness as well. The Lord answered me, you have said that the righteous are carried off and the impious are prospered. Man would not rightly have understood. He transgressed willfully. That's free will, remember. You take free will to go to the left or right, wander around aimlessly in the middle. The Most High count is not taken off time now of a few years. For he knew that this time was but short, but that the heavens and the earth always endure. If a man is prospered in his beginnings and shamefully treated in his old age, he gets all the prosperity. If a man is shamefully treated in his beginnings and is prospered in his old age, he does not remember again his evil entreatment. Days come, hold fast in your heart everything that I command you. I will show you the judgment of my might, my ways which are unsearchable. Sanctify yourselves 7 days, and eat no bread, nor drink water, nor speak to anyone. This is talking about fasting. Okay, the nature of man is always changeable. It came to pass after these things that, behold, the heavens were opened. Power was given to me. Baruch, why are you troubled? I answered, not so, the days come, and the scrolls will be opened, in which are written the sins of all those who have sinned. Treasures in which who have sinned, treasures in which righteous, in which righteousness, righteous in creation is gathered. The long suffering of the Most High, will that tribulation which is to come continue for a long time. That time divided into 12 parts. First, the beginning of the commotions. Second, the slayings of the great ones. Third part, the fall of many by death. Fourth part, the sending of the sword. The fifth part, famine in the falling rain. The sixth part, earthquakes and terrors. Seventh part, and the eighth part, spectres and attacks of the Shadim. The ninth part, the fall of fire. The 10th part, plunder and much oppression. 11th part, wickedness and unchastity. 12th part, confusion from the mingling together of all those things previously mentioned. Isn't this the nature of all humanity, though? This cycle. This is also an individual pathway for a single individual, as it is for a collective species such as humanity. These are things that we can all walk. These tribulations are things we come for ourselves. The tribulation is our decision to go left or right. It's a tribulation of humanity, which direction does it wish to take itself? Which direction do you wish to take yourself? This is a tribulation. And this moving through these paradigms and these natures of earthly droughts and earthquakes happens sometimes as a cycle of change on the earth plane. So these things are not only present in the time of Scripture, but also present as a consistency throughout time and throughout human experience. Whoever understands will then be wise. He who is incorruptible despises these things which are corruptible. What will then befall will befall the whole earth. The behemoth will be revealed from his place, and the Leviathan will ascend from the sea. The time of the advent of the Messiah is fulfilled, that he will return in glory. This is one thing that I disagree. Jesus came once, he passed on a message, he shared it with us, and that's been cascaded around the world to billions of people. However, do people truly understand that word anymore? Do people truly understand the word anymore of Yeshua? Or any word, Krishna or Buddha anymore? Do they truly understand anymore? Are the representatives who claim to be representatives of that emanation, are they the true representatives anymore? Or are they just false politicians in priestly and religious garb? I would say they're the latter. I went to the people and said to them, assemble to me all your elders, hear, and do not forget Zion. Remembrance, and behold, when everything that is will become prey of corruption, and be as though it has not been. Prepare your hearts so as to sow in, protect you. Mighty one to shake the whole creation. Zion may go again to where you are departing from us. Baruch, and are you forsaking us as a father who forsakes his orphan children? These are the command which your companion Jeremiah prophet commanded you. I go and make ready the brothers in Babylon. I will go to the Holy of Holies to inquire of the Mighty One. I, Baruch, went to the holy place and sat down on the ruins. O Lord, you always enlighten my soul, have always walked to your law. So Jeremiah basically got to the enslaved tribes who were in Babylon, which is in the first slide. The mountains, this is the word, he was in the mountains, this is the word, this kingdom will be destroyed. Subjected to that comes after it. After a time will be destroyed. Fourth kingdom, rule many times, hold fast for times, exalt itself more. By it the truth will be hidden. Those who are polluted with iniquity will flee to it. Participate of my Messiah will be revealed. Those who are basically, there's going to be left and right, two people, there's going to be a passage of people going towards that which is polluted, pollution and iniquity, and those who participate in teachings of the Christ. The last leader of that time will be left alive. My Messiah will convict him of all his impiety. To those who have believed, there will be good. Those who have withdrawn from his word, this is the word, withdraw and mingle themselves with the seed of mingled people. Those are basically talking about everyone else in nations. Baruch, direct your heart to that which has been said to you, for you will depart from this place. You will forget whatever is corruptible. Again, recall those things which happen among mortals. Command your people to this place. Fast 7 days. Everything that is corrupt will pass away. Everything that dies will depart. For that which will quickly fall is to be with the depth of desire. A new world comes in which does not turn to corruption those who depart to its restlessness. Will inherit that time as has been spoken of. The treasures of wisdom, the stores of understanding, preserve the truth of the law. They will not be wanting to Israel, they will not be wanting in Israel a wise man. I go to Hebron, Mighty One has sent me there. Oh my Lord, you all know the duration of generations. Do not reveal mysteries to many. My judgment exacts its own. Law exacts its rights. In all those times they polluted themselves. Practice oppression and ever my his own works. Not remember the law of the Mighty One. For the first will receive the last. This whom they were expecting, and the last those of whom they used to hear, but they have passed away. Delivered from this world of tribulation. Those who were on the earth exchanged their soul. Issues are full of lamentations and evils. Mighty One, you alone know the end of the seasons. This again is vision, lamentation that he has, and he's cascading this on, and he's talking about that will be those who remain in the earth and be earthbound. Those who will be spiritual will become spiritual, ascended, and release themselves from the earthly manifested incarnational life. In short. In Baruch 3, also the Greek, which is also called the Greek Apocalypse Baruch, is a visionary tale between the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD and the 3rd century AD, written by Jew or Christians. That's from the narrative of the author of the book. A narrative and revelation of Baruch concerning those evil things which he saw. Understand, beloved, trouble yourself so greatly concerning the salvation of Jerusalem. Show to you all the things of God, for your prayer has heard before. The messenger said, cease to provoke God. He will show you the mysteries, if you will show me. The messenger of the power said to me, come and I will show you the mysteries of God. He led me where the expanse has been set first, the river which no one can cross. Led to the first heaven, there was a place, a man dwelling with face of oxen, the horn of stags and feet of goats, and haunches of lambs. What is the thickness of the heaven in which we did? Messenger whose name is Samuel said, the door of heaven is a distance from the earth to heaven. It is great its thickness. What these men are, these are they who built the tower of strife against God. The Lord banished them. So basically taking to place the first heaven, so to speak, where those who created the Tower of Babel. Remember the Tower of Babel? This is talking about the Tower of Babel, where the tower was supposed to be built so high that they could go to heavens, where the divine God in their eyes was residing, so they could, who was at the top part where the Tower of Babel would be in the same state of God. That's what the kings were trying to build it for. And so they were banished and it was destroyed because it offended a god or a being at the time who pretended to be God. That was just. In the second heaven was full of men. Appearance was like that of dogs. Who these are? They are they who get counsel to build the tower. For they whom you see drove forth multitudes of both men and women to make bricks. The Lord appeared to them and confused their speech. Remember, he talks about in that area where everyone was speaking, supposedly the same language, confused their speech, so they're speaking different languages, they couldn't understand each other, and then they cascaded out amongst the nations. Tower to the height of 463 cubits, sought to pierce the heaven. God saw this. He did not permit them, but struck them with blindness and confusion of speech, and rendered them as you see. Showed me a plain as a serpent, and a serpent 200 plethora in length. Showed me Hades, dark and abominable. Who is this dragon? He who eats the bodies is spend their life wickedly. He says those who are there spent their life wickedly. Hades does not sink at all. The messenger Samuel planted a vine. Lord God was angry. He cursed him. He did not permit Adam to touch it. Samuel planted this vine, this tree, basically in the Garden of Eden. Remember, this was the tree of knowledge, and he said to Adam not to touch it, but Adam did touch it, and then became aware, if you like, of good and evil, the duality of life, and then he became corrupted. A vine has been the cause of such great evil. How is it now so useful? God caused the deluge on earth and destroyed all flesh and 409,000 giants. Remember, the giants were supposedly the offspring of these fallen angels, who were basically these messengers of Yahweh, who came down, who were supposed to work with the humanity, but then actually fornicated with females and created the offspring of giants. Earth appeared out of the water. Noah came out of the ark, began to plant trees, which he found. The bitterness will be changed into sweetness. Since you said to me, the dragon drinks 1 cubit of the sea, how great is his belly? As far as a plummet is thrown, he took me. The sun goes forth into a chariot was sitting a man, a crown of fire, 40 messengers, birds circling. What is this bird? He is the guardian of the earth. His name is called the Phoenix. Again, these visions and these passages, these movements, and taken around in chariots and help them to see different parts of space, I would suggest, this is something that the visions we've heard many times in the Apocrypha. He led me into the fourth heaven, a monotonous plain, multitudes of birds in it of all kinds, a crane as great as great, a pool in it with and other wonders in that place, where the souls of the righteous come. The birds continuously sing praise to the Lord. In the fifth heaven, Michael the commander came down to receive the praise of men. Let the gates be opened, the commander said. This is where the merits of the righteous enter, and such good works as they do. Messengers came bearing baskets of flowers. These flowers are the merits of the righteous. Messengers came weeping, O Lord, for we were delivered to evil men. We wish to depart from them. You cannot depart from them, in order that the enemy may not prevail to the end. We cannot abide with wicked and foolish men, fornications, adulteries, idolatry, divination, nor leave the sons of men alone. Okay, that's the end of Baruch. It's interesting. Unless these are visions we've read before many times. These are the states of heaven we've seen many times in the past. Again, the second coming is you. It's transformative. Make sure you have your own passage, either broad into the narrow or from the left into the right. Whichever you choose, it is your own personal journey. You will see grace before you. Just walk towards it. Everything else that you seek and need to understand will be revealed to you on this passage and journey. Just trust it. Be open. Be faithful. Have your discourse with grace at all times, which is your silent voice to your voice inside. Remember, cleanse the soul. The soul is what's dirtied, is why we're still here, and move it into the emanation of spirit, into the cleansing, into the grace of the light of your divine breath. Okay, I want to say thank you for listening to this. I'm going to put the webcam on this one because this one isn't freezing with me today, so I want to say thank you again for listening. I appreciate it. God bless you all. Until next time, thank you.